Sometimes life breaks you so completely you forget what hope even looks like, you know? For Noah Blake, hope was a word that slipped through his fingers, like everything else, since the day his wife Sarah died and left him with a daughter whose asthma bills stacked higher than his dreams ever did. So when he got a letter saying he'd inherited exactly $1 from a great uncle he'd never met, he just laughed, a raw, bitter sound, and tossed it straight into the trash. Except life, as I've learned the hard way, has a sense of humor that's both cruel and oddly precise. And the next morning, an old Bentley rolls up outside his trailer, and this lawyer in a suit so sharp you could cut bread with it just looks him dead in the eye and says, "The dollar was ceremonial. The legacy is waiting." 7 words. That's all it took. By noon, Noah's standing at the edge of a valley, Emma's small hand in his, looking up at a castle that belongs in a book, not in real life, shrouded in mist and stories and secrets you can almost taste in the air. Waywood and Keep. Supposedly his now. Supposedly some ancient family legacy. But right then he's still just a guy with overdue water bills and a daughter whose breathing keeps him up at night. What the hell does he know about castles? It all started, really, like every other morning. Sunlight leaking through threadbare curtains, bills spread across the table, Emma watching him with those big green eyes, clutching her inhaler and her elephant, asking if he remembers any stories about family. And he lies, gently, because that's what you do when you're the only grown-up in the house and you grew up without so much as a birthday card from anyone. "We're a team," he tells her. "Just you and me." That's all he's ever known. But Emma's got this curiosity that won't quit, Sarah's gift to her, along with the stubbornness. And she digs that letter out of the trash, finds her dad's name next to a great uncle he never met. And even though it says he inherited a buck, she lights up because, to her, that means family. Sometimes adults make mistakes with paperwork, Noah mutters, but Emma isn't having it. It means somebody knew your name. And just for a second, the truth of that lands hard. For 35 years, nobody knew his name except foster parents who never wanted him and a wife he lost too soon. Cue the knock at the door, the lawyer named Thornfield with a British accent and eyes that see more than they should, who says the dollar's just a symbol and the real inheritance is waiting in the hills. "Come see." Thornfield offers, and Noah's gut says run, but Emma's eyes go wide, and for once the word adventure doesn't sound like something for other people. He grabs her jacket, and off they go, trailer park neighbors gawking, Emma giggling in the back seat, everything feeling impossible. The drive winds through mist and ancient oaks until, out of nowhere, this fortress rises from the fog. Gothic towers, gargoyles, stained glass scattering rainbows on stone, like something time forgot. Inside, it's cold and echoing. But as soon as Noah steps through the door with Emma, he feels it, like the walls have been waiting for them. Portraits line the hall, Blake's from generations past, all with some piece of his face or Emma's. And at the end, Cornelius himself, keeper of memories. Thornfield lays it out. This place passes only to a Blake who's lost everything. Not money, everything that matters. Cornelius spent his last years watching Noah, foster care, Sarah, the bills, the fight, and decided Noah was the one. Emma's already sprinting up the stairs, her laughter bouncing off the walls, and for the first time in years, Noah's chest doesn't feel like it's caving in. That night, Emma finds a secret passage behind the bookshelf, a real, honest-to-God secret passage, and they descend into Cornelius's workshop, where blueprints, clockwork toys, and this half-finished machine fill the room. The journals are all there. Cornelius's handwriting looping across pages, talking about a device that can capture not just images, but memories, emotions, everything. "Memory is the bridge between past and present," Cornelius wrote. "Love transcends time." Noah barely understands it, but Emma's fearless. She touches a crystal sphere, and for a moment, he hears laughter, sees a child running through a garden that isn't there. The main device, a wild cross between a clock and a pipe organ, waits unfinished. Cornelius left everything so that the next Blake, the one who understood loss, could finish his work. And maybe, just maybe, help others heal. With Thornfield's help and Pete Mackenzie, The old village craftsman who was Cornelius's apprentice. They start piecing the thing together. Emma thrives, breathing easier in the clean castle air, peppering Pete with questions, calling herself Dad's assistant. The community starts to buzz. Word gets out. Neighbors drop by. Rumors swirl. But for once, the bills don't keep Noah up. There's a trust, just enough to keep the lights on. But the real work is learning how the machine works, tuning crystals to the frequencies of love and loss, as Pete calls it. Grief, Cornelius believed, is an energy, one that can heal when honored, not buried. Then comes the twist nobody sees coming. Blackstone Development, a megacorp, hears about the castle and offers $25 million to buy the place and turn it into a resort. The machine would be destroyed. The legacy lost. Thornfield reveals a clause. Noah has to choose, within 90 days, between wealth and purpose. If he sells, he and Emma are set for life. But Waywood and Keep becomes just another playground for the rich. If he stays, he'll never be rich, but he keeps the legacy and the machine that could change lives. Noah walks the grounds that night, thinking about every foster home, every moment Sarah held his hand, every struggle with Emma's health. And in the morning, when Emma asks, "What would Mommy want us to do?" Noah already knows the answer. Help people, he says. That's what she'd want. So he turns down the money, decides to open the castle to families who need it. The first families arrive. Parents who've lost children, widowers clutching faded letters, whole communities marked by grief nobody else could reach. They sit with the device, anchor objects in hand, a wedding ring, a violin, a folded flag, and for a few minutes, the machine bridges worlds. They don't talk to ghosts. They remember love in all its fullness. They leave lighter, not cured, but walking upright again. But success breeds trouble. Blackstone pushes harder. Lawsuits, rumors, TV crews hunting for cults and miracles. Pete warns, they'll try to take it from you. Emma, wise beyond her years, suggests inviting the families to live there together, to form a community no one can uproot. It works. The castle fills with life. Kids playing with mechanical toys, gardens blooming, music rooms humming with Anna's violin, shared dinners, stories, healing. The memory device grows stronger as each family adds their own anchor object, and Emma, now 9 and fierce, keeps the guest book, reminding everyone that grief is just love with nowhere to go. Reporters come and go. Blackstone gives up when they realize you can't fight an entire community living their truth. Thornfield retires, but still visits, smiling as the castle becomes more than Cornelius ever dreamed on the anniversary of their arrival. Emma stands up in the great hall, once the loneliest girl in the world, now a leader, and says, "We thought we were getting a house, but we got a family instead." When someone you love dies, you don't lose them. You just learn new ways to be with them. And as Noah looks around, at Emma, at the families, at the castle that was never really about stone or glass or money, he realizes the real inheritance isn't property, it's purpose. Not what you receive, but what you do with it. And in the quiet hum of the memory machine, Sarah's love echoes on. A bridge between sorrow and joy. A promise that hope, once found, can spread like fire. So, what do you think? Would you choose security or purpose? If you could help even one family heal, would you risk everything? Share what you do in the comments. Because sometimes, the biggest legacy is the one you help others build. If this story moved you, tell us where you're watching from. Share your thoughts on grief, healing, and what you think justice or community really means. And if you want to see more stories like this, subscribe and join the conversation. Tomorrow's story just might be the one you need.